Hello, 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 dreamers. Perla here. As always, thank you for your love and support. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't done so, go ahead and do so. We would love to have you. This is going to be the weekly collective message. Again, these are very quick and straight to the point messages. There is a sense here collectively where the need to stop making excuses um, needs to come. the there is a sense where some of you have a lot of plans, have a lot of great ideas, you have a lot of things that you want to put into action. And you're allowing yourself to talk like it's almost kind of like you allow yourself to talk yourself out of it. You either say it's like it's not the perfect time, or I don't have this, or I don't have that. You look for excuses not to take risks, you look for excuses not to move forward, and that needs to stop. Now for some of you, this hesitation of moving forward, or this hesitation of taking some type of risk, has to do with someone that is connected to your past, whether this is a romantic relationship that ended, whether this was a friendship or a work relationship that ended. You're hesitant that moving forward in that space, you're going to encounter the same type of energy or the same type of people. So like, let's say if you just came out of a really bad relationship, you're or and again, this, when I say you just came out, this could have been a year ago, this could have been 6 months ago, this could have been 3 years ago. Everybody grieves and heals from connections in different ways, right? But what I'm trying to say is that there is an eagerness, there is a wanting here of wanting to emerge in that space, right? Maybe you're dreaming or fantasizing, excuse me, of a relationship, but every time you think about opening up to somebody, you start to have memories or things that are still triggering you from your past relationship. And the only thing that I can say to that is like, address that. Why is it that it's still triggering you? What in that space have you like, and a lot of times, believe it or not, it can be as simple as like forgiving yourself for allowing yourself to be in that position, or forgiving yourself for not walking away from that situation sooner. Now, you're not taking the blame of what somebody did to you, but sometimes we hold resentment and anger towards ourselves, and we don't know how to verbalize it because it is something that we're not quote unquote supposed to do, right? We're not supposed to have self-hatred, we're not supposed to have self this and self-doubt and this and this and that. So when it surfaces up, sometimes we try to suppress it, sometimes we try to say that that is not what it is. So maybe you had a bad partner when it came to find, like, career wise, or you had a friend that betrayed you or whatever, and it's like you're longing for that type of connection, for that type of um, friendship, for that type of co-worker or whatever it is, but you're hesitant because you're afraid that whoever it is that you connect with moving forward is going to be the same. And again, that is something that only you and you alone can address, right? Can it be possible for you to continue on healing while in connections? Of course. You're healing. You're not going to be 100% healed before you go into another connection, and I'm sorry to burst your bubble. For some of you, you will recognize that as soon as you get into another relationship. For some of you, it may take a little longer depending on who it is that you're in a connection with. But whether this is an ex lover, an ex friend, an ex co-worker, whatever, whenever you decide to go back into that type of like into that dynamic of a relationship again, or a connection, you are going to have triggers that are going to come up, and they're going to come up to see if you have finally healed, if you made your peace with them, or if they still have a hold on you. And I know that people hate to hear things like that, but it's just a simple fact. There's only so much healing that you can do in isolation, there's only so much healing that you can do on your own. It is not until you're facing that trigger, and it's not until you're facing that fear, that whatever, that you truly get to see if you truly healed from that. Okay. And that is pretty much what is happening this week. It's like, okay, you keep on saying that you want this, you keep on saying that you want that, but when spirit is giving you these opportunities, whether it's like meeting different people, whether romantically or platonically, you keep on pulling away. And you need to stop. You need to learn to take more risk, and you need to stop being so afraid of you need to stop being so afraid that the next person is going to be exactly as the last. Because if you really honestly feel like that, then it is because you deeply know inside of you that you haven't done the work to deal with it. You haven't done the work to heal with from it. You haven't done the work that needed to be done while in isolation. Because again, this is not like a This is not like, oh, you're going to take 6 weeks to yourself and then you're going to emerge and you're going to be like, oh my god, completely healed from everything. That's not the way that it works, right? There's certain things that are healed in isolation and within yourself, with yourself, and then there's things that are healed by being in communion with other people, whether that is romantically or platonic. And that is one of the things that maybe some of you have had a longer period of time of being in isolation, and because you have been isolating yourself for so long, you're having a hard time kind of like either reconnecting or reopening up to people, and that is something that needs to be addressed. um, for some of you is like, every time you try to address this or you try to talk to the few people, and I'm going to say it like that, the few people that you trust, they might not be giving you the best advice, and I'm being completely honest with you. They might be telling you, oh, maybe you need more time to heal, maybe you need more time to heal. If there's something inside of you, and when I say when we listen to our intuition, it is not a rushed, it is not a impulsive thing, if that makes any sense. When you're listening to your intuition, everything is clear, everything is crystal clear, and there is no hesitation, there is no doubt in the message that is coming through. And the reason why I have to word it that way is because the way that this is coming is like, I feel very strongly that you guys are getting a very clear message to go back into some type of space. Now, for some of you, again, this is opening up for a relationship, opening up for friendships, maybe collaborating with people, but you have been effed up, like fucked up in the past so badly that there is still some type of like underlying fear. And some of you are mistaking I'm gonna call it like a surface fear, right? Whenever you're gonna try something new, there's always kind of like this excitement type of fear mixture thing altogether, right? And unfortunately, it's something that our nervous system does, and it is what it is at this point, right? And you become accustomed not to feel that while you were in isolation or whatever it was, that now that you're feeling it, you're questioning it, whether if it's too soon or something like that. The answer is no. The answer is to go ahead, like, are you ready? Like, you need to be ready for this. You are ready for this. And you need to be done with holding yourself hostage. You need to be done with holding yourself back, is what I keep on picking up. So let's pull out a few tarot. So we have the Hanged Man and the Wheel of Fortune, both in the upright position. There's something here about like this time of let me not do my middle finger. I love the middle finger because it's the longest one, right? Um, this time, this time of isolation, this time that you went within yourself, this time that you took off, or you took to go ahead and do the work that you needed to do, it's done and over with. And now it's time to move forward. Now it's time to take what you've learned and put it into practice. Take what you have learned and put it into practice, my love. All right. Let me take 3 cards. I just want to look at the card. So there's definitely the sense here of like this set together. The way that it came up is like you yourself are holding your happiness hostage. You yourself it's almost kind of like this energy of like somebody that has become so scared of being hurt that you decided to kind of like block everyone and everything out of your life. And that is not what life is about. Again, isolation, being isolated, doing that shadow work, it is, for me personally, it is a beautiful experience, regardless of how hard it is, regardless of how painful it is. It is something that I usually look forward to, and it is something that I have to remind myself that that is not the only reason I'm here, that is not the only purpose for me, right? So why do I say that? Well, sometimes we become comfortable in chaotic energies. We become comfortable in pain. We become comfortable in discomfort. We become comfortable in anger and hatred, in a space of feeling less than, in a space of not being seen. We become so comfortable in these spaces, either because of past, not even if, but because is what I want to say, of past connections. Not whether these were romantic, whether these were with your parents or whatever it is, right? You became comfortable in these spaces because this was what you were exposed to on a day-to-day basis. This is what you were told on a day-to-day basis. And now the spirit is trying to show you that there is a different way, that there is a different way of being, that there is a different way of waking up, that there is a different way of looking at yourself. there is a little bit of fear there, because you may have thought maybe 2 years ago that that's what you were doing, but you didn't realize that a lot of the people that you were aligned with were people that were in the same space, energetic field with you, right? So you were aligning with people that were as broken as you were at that time. And I don't mean that in any negative way or anything like that. We have all been broken, and we are all still broken in some way, shape, or form. So we align with that, right? And usually when we don't take the time to take ourselves out of the equation, when we don't take the time to sit in silence, to sit with ourselves, we fail to see that how broken we really are. We fail to see how damaged we really are in that sense, right? And what I mean is this space where a lot of times we want to we want to choose to blame others, we want to choose to blame ourselves in a harsh way, and realizing that something is not working, right? So when I talk about damage, is like there's an energetic situation that is just not working, right? Whether that was, binge drinking, whether that was smoking weed every day, whether that was, doing coke, whatever it was that you were doing, there was a situation, whether that was going back to your ex for the hundredth time, right? Whatever it was, whether that was being addicted to sex or whatever, right? That space energetically was damaged. That space was stuck in a loop. It was just stuck in a loop, right? And when you get stuck in those loops, unless you literally like pull yourself out of them, you're not going to realize that you are stuck in that loop. And this is where usually the time or the space for isolation, for doing that shadow work, comes in, because then you're able to see clearly what it was that you were stuck on in order to go ahead and move forward. I hope that that makes sense. All right. So let's go ahead and let's pull out an oracle card, the healing stones. Give me a card for the collective. What is the card for the collective, Spirit? What is the card for the collective? The rose quartz. Softness, love. You would rather flee into somebody's protecting arms. Rose quartz wraps you with love. Its intention is gentle but firm. It shows you how lovable you are. For a lot of you, this week, that is what it's about. It's about realizing that you, regardless of what cycle you're in your life, regardless of what how damaged you may feel, regardless of how unhealed you may seem to others, or etc., you are still lovable. And this is why you continue on. This is why you continue on doing the work. This is why you continue on showing up, even when that immediate like hesitation, or that first, that little surface fear comes up. Everything comes back to love. Everything comes back to this space. Well, I don't even know what the heck I said, but I hope that message helped. Sending every single one of you love, strength, and blessing, guys. Take care. Love you all. Bye bye.